Assam has decided that every Friday, the 2-hour break that the assembly proceedings took, because that being a Friday prayers day for the Muslim community legislators, has to be done away with. This was something which was being practiced since 1937 at least. Maybe the British brought it for whatever circumstances, but the Himanta government and hence the assembly administration in the name of the speaker decided that this has to be discontinued. Now, there are a couple of reasons why the Assam government decided that this has to happen. They said that this sort of privileges the Muslim community leaders insofar as their Friday prayers are concerned, when similar provisions for prayers of other community legislators are not available in the Assam assembly. Also, typically what would happen is every Friday, 11 a.m., the assembly would adjourn and would meet after 3 hours. So Himanta Biswa Sarma has pushed in the argument that this is a measure aimed at increasing productivity. So he's not getting into communal, secular, etc. But then the opposition, of course, was quick to sort of respond in a manner trying to pin the Assam government down on the issue of it being communally biased against the Muslim community, or yet another instance of the Himanta government being against the Muslim community. Remember, just this week, the Himanta government brought in a law in Assam Assembly and passed, according to which minority community cannot have child marriages. Now, child marriages otherwise are also banned in India, but there were some specific customs and there was a law to preserve those customs in Assam, because of which girls below the age of 18 could marry insofar as the Muslim community is concerned. The Assam government has now scrapped it, brought in a law to take away that privilege that the Muslim community had. And so obviously the opposition is up in arms and projecting this decision to do away with Friday prayers break in the Assam Assembly as yet another instance of the Himanta government going after, in a way, the Muslim minority in Assam, which obviously is not the case. Now, if you look at the larger picture, that provision perhaps for some historical reasons existed in Assam, but it's not there in any other state assembly in India. They might be doing it by some kind of precedence, but not by law, as was the case in Assam. Also, if you look at countries like the United Arab Emirates, maybe other Muslim countries, they do not provide for a break from work in whichever field you are, just because it's Friday and you have Friday Jummah prayers. You can on your own go, but then the office does not shut, or possibly the assembly does not shut. So in that way, it's not discriminatory. In fact, it was a kind of exceptionalism which was built into the Assam assembly procedures and rules, which has now been done away with. And then there is this larger question, because the opposition says that Himanta government is trying to communalize everything and going after the Muslim community, that why something which should actually be the touchstone of secularism, which is that when you are out of your home and when you are in a professional setup, when you are in a public space, why should there be any exceptionalism for any community? These are same people, by the way, who, when the Sengol ceremony happened in Parliament, when the Modi government wanted to give Sengol a pride of place, treating it as part of a historical legacy or a tradition which was done away with earlier after 1947, and which was seen as a reminder to those ruling in the country that law is above everything else. And this same opposition saw in the Sengol ceremony an attack on secular ethos of the country, because they thought that that is a Hindu symbol, and that's why it should not be put inside the parliament. Now, the same set of people are saying that no, if Muslim legislators, MLAs of Assam want to take a Jummah break from work for 3 hours for their Friday prayers, they should be allowed. So in a way, exceptionalism being used in a manner that it sort of favors the minority community is the argument. But what is important is that why should it be the responsibility of the government of the day, in the first instance, for something which is specific to a community. If the argument is that it is part of traditions and customs, then obviously you can follow, but why do you need a law? Also, when the other communities in the country have reformed, why not the Muslim community as well? And if the argument is that no, they should be allowed, others can also be allowed, then why not come to a common conclusion that let's have a secular code, a uniform civil code, where there is no discrimination based on community, religion, etc. In this case, of course, the Himanta government's law is aimed at gender empowerment, because while in the rest of the country and for the rest of the communities, you cannot marry a girl who's below the age of 18. In the case of Assam, it was happening. In fact, along with Bengal, Assam happens to be one of the few states where child marriage is still rampant and has a high incidence of happening, and out of that sample size, a great majority of those child marriages come from the Muslim community. In fact, this entire pocket of Bengal, Assam, including Bangladesh, which reports high incidence of child marriage, Bangladesh being the highest in terms of proportion in entire South Asia. So, a lot of reforms happening, which ideally should have happened from within the community, be it the child marriage issue, be it the gender balance, be it the gender equality, and in this particular instance, this seeking of exceptionalism for the Muslim MLAs of Assam in the name of custom and tradition, while the same privilege is not extended to others, is a case where I think all those who claim themselves to be secular should have a relook at the response that they have given to the decision of the Himanta government.